Good morning, guys. We got rain again last night, but I'm not so happy about it this time. So it was a pretty big storm last night. I think we got an inch of rain is what the Weather Channel is saying. I don't have a rain gauge here on the property. And that may not sound like a lot to a lot of you, but that's literally 1/8 of our rain in a year. And there were really, really bad winds. And this is not the first time this has happened to me. Unfortunately, this is the only other tree on my property besides the willow that I planted. But this was the largest. And this happened to me about 2 years ago. We had another supercell rainstorm during our monsoon season that took out a huge cottonwood tree that we had in the front. If I have a picture from the previous listing, I will put it up here. But it's gone. It completely fell over. At least the chickens are enjoying it. This is where our large cottonwood was 2 years ago, and it completely blew over in the same direction. And we still have not removed all of the roots, but I'm not sure I want to just yet. I've contemplated using this as some sort of animal shelter. If I were to ever get pigs, I would want to put them here and have this, like, build up a roof over this and like make it a permanent shelter for pigs or something like that. Unfortunately, this tree isn't large enough to do that. And these roots are still intact. I mean, none of the tree broke. And I would almost say we could pull it back up. But even if we pulled it back up, I'm not quite sure how that would help at all, because if it can't even stand on its own feet in the wind, it's definitely not going to stand upright if it's already been blown over once, unless I don't know, completely cover it with dirt and try and build up the base. I'm not sure. I don't know what we're gonna do. I'm not as disappointed as I was when the big tree fell down, mostly because it's already happened to me once. Of course it would happen again. It is just disappointing that this was the largest tree on my property. Cottonwoods are extremely fast growing, and it was the only shade tree I had. And to add insult to injury, my garden is completely fine. Not that that's a bad thing. I am very happy that the garden is fine. All of the trellises are still standing, and none of the plants appear broken, though I've just done a quick walkthrough. I haven't done any in-depth searching for damage, but I'm gonna do another walkthrough here with you guys and see what's up with this garden. Look at this spider web. Didn't even get damaged. All of my tomato trellises are still standing, which is surprising because they are not very stable, but I am happy for that. But I did have some tomato foliage here. I'm just gonna have to take a rope and tie some of this back up to this trellis, but otherwise they are undamaged and they just fell over. It's a really hardy plant. But I am honestly most surprised by this tomato trellis, because this is extremely unstable with how high these tomatoes are, and this faces east to west. The wind was primarily coming from the north yesterday. You would think it would have blown this whole thing over, but everything looks fine and healthy. So nothing else is damaged. It's just the one shade tree that fell over. And of course my rain barrels are full, but they were full during the last rain, and I haven't set up my secondary rain barrels. So that was kind of a waste of water that I could have caught, but I'm not too worried about that at this point. I'm happy we are getting rain. I'm bummed that the tree fell over. And honestly, we might try and pick it up. I might do some research and see if we can just pick it up and rebury those roots and around the base to try and make a more stable environment for it to sit in. But honestly, I have really sandy soil. Cottonwoods are riparian area trees. They like a lot of water. They have shallow roots, and they are notoriously flimsy and disease-prone trees. I am not surprised that that happened. Also, I think Murphy's Law just generally applies to me. But I am less disappointed than I should be because it's already happened to me once. It's not terrible. My garden is still intact. And the general infrastructure here on the homestead is still intact. So that is good. On a more positive note, I did some weeding yesterday, and I've mowed the lawn last week. So the grass is freshly trimmed and the weeds won't get watered, and we received a ton of rain. So hopefully the yard will be looking a lot better very soon after an inch of moisture that was sorely needed. And I've been thinking lately, I'm just going to take out these sunflower plants because they're about at the end of their time anyways. And they are the only thing, besides the perennial catnip and the few potatoes I have coming up, they're the only thing in these beds that are blocking my way from killing this Bermuda grass, which definitely needs to be done in the next month. So I'm probably just going to bite the bullet and go and get that 10 by 100 tarp at Lowe's. Because that absolutely will cover the rest of this garden and try and kill the Bermuda grass that way, because I need to start thinking about re-amending these in-row garden beds with soil and fertilizer and such so that the soil is nice and healthy for the fall transplants that I have coming up soon. I also started a couple different seeds yesterday, and they were all of my really cold tolerant brassicas, some different varieties of cauliflower and broccoli and cabbage that are better for overwintering than the more heat tolerant ones. I also started some more Chinese celery because I had really spotty germination on my last batch. And what else? Oh, and some rutabagas, including a new variety called Marianne rutabaga that I'm trying this year. So those I seeded them just yesterday evening, and I am excited to see the germination rate on those. Yay. And now that we've received all of this rain and my garden is still going strong, I'm still pulling food out every day, I'm thinking more and more that I will probably not be able to plant out a lot of cool weather crops in these garden beds when I need to, which is coming up next month. Unless I come and rip some of this stuff out, but I always hate ripping out summer plants that are producing. Does anyone else have that problem? Okay guys, I was just about to sign off, and this amazing tomato trellis that I have here, it's more than one plant. So you know about the giant crimson that I've been harvesting from, but I didn't have anything producing on the second plant, and I just saw the tomato. And I don't know what variety it is, but it's very cool. Look at these guys. Let me pull one out so you can see which one it is. Look at these yellow stripes. It's so gorgeous. This just made my morning after my sad tree fell over. This is awesome. Mom, I know you're watching this. I know you gave me this variety. Which one is it? Because I did not grow this from my own seeds. It's really sweet. Ah, yay! I see like 4 more on there. Oh, this isn't a bad day after all. Alright guys, well it's early. I'm gonna head inside and get ready for the day, and I'll keep you updated on what we decide to do to the tree. I'll catch you on the next one.